Greetings, YouTube. I saw a piece recently about how a charity, I believe it was a church, was trying to help students eradicate their lunch debt. So students who get lunch at school, they couldn't afford their lunches, so they ended up with a debt to the school. And these people, these families, were being brought to court over this. Their children's lives being put at risk because there's the chance that they could be taken away from their family. Everything in America is about punishing the poor, about punishing the less fortunate. And this is another example. But there's a solution to it. Lunch debt shouldn't exist. Period. There should be free breakfasts and free lunches for every single student in America. Problem solved. Yes, we can afford that. We're going to have to tax billionaires and corporations, but we can afford that. Also, I would recommend slashing the military budget because they have way too much fucking money. Also, redirect funds from the police departments who have things like armored personnel carriers and put that towards feeding kids. Now remember, the Republicans in America are opposed to feeding children because that means helping poor people. And they hate poor people. They don't like not poor people either, by the way, unless you're a billionaire, and then they love you. Then they'll suck that dick all day long. But if you are not a billionaire, they don't like you. But they really hate poor people. And if they can take their kids away, or they can cripple them with, permanent debt that they're never going to be able to get rid of and shove their entire family into a cycle of debt which will last generations, they're all for that. Because poor people are more likely to join the military. Poor people are more likely to take jobs that pay very little and have very few rights because they're so desperate to survive. The Republicans are about creating desperation in the American populace so that you will kowtow to capitalism. And one of the ways they do this is by having children have to pay for food that they should get for free. Because we know the studies have shown that children who have a breakfast and a lunch at school academically do better. Another thing that the Republicans are opposed to, students doing academically well. It also means that they have less food insecurity because there are chances that is the only food that kid gets all day long. That there may not be food at home because food insecurity in America is a real thing. The wealthiest nation on earth, and we don't make sure everyone has food. We also don't make sure they have housing or health care or a proper education. We try to get every single penny from everyone. Let capitalism run roughshod over the very lives of our children. And that's considered to be A-OK. Well, I say it's bullshit. School lunch debt shouldn't exist. Every student should have access to breakfast and lunch, a nutritious, healthy breakfast and lunch every single time they go to school without question. It would be less expensive than all the crap we put them through, and it would have a better result for their grades and their lives. And which is, again, why the GOP opposes these types of efforts.